Yes, I stand alone under very sad circumstances. Ratsitsi phoned me Monday morning and said he has a real tough problem, and I think we all feel for him for the task that is on his hand for tomorrow. There we go. Okay, firstly about Emfuleni Primary School. It is a fairly new school, established in 2009. Ratsitsi has been the headmaster since for the last 3 years. The school has about roughly 1,000 pupils. It's a full-service school, so same as James explained, children with handicaps as well as all the full feedings processes, etc. So it is a busy activity. What I really admire about Ratsitsi is his absolute passion for education and education as a whole person. He's also very passionate about sports, and as a consequence he promotes sports very actively in the school. Not overcome by shortage of facilities, he builds, amongst others, his own hurdles. So he collects trash material, old pipes, welds them together, and then he builds his own hurdles for his athletes. No sports field, so he just uses the ground that he has and trains and teaches the children. We'll come back to another slide on that a bit later. Myself, I've been retired since 2012. Listening to these learners, I think education, we've all used the word, if we don't bury the past will bury us. Education is part of giving the tools for the future generation of teaching them how to bury the past. So that's amongst others one of the reasons why I'm involved. On our very first day, very first meeting, this is what Ratsitsi and I did. And I immediately realized this is a school which is really functional. The school functions because of the headmaster. Firstly, I think also because it is a fairly healthy community. And I'll give you an example of, or let me give you the example why I call it a healthy community. On the very first day that I went for my meeting with Ratsitsi, Marianne explained me the route, and she told me, amongst others, okay, you will pass the rubbish heap, and immediately after the rubbish heap, you'll find the school entrance. It was about 4 weeks later, we had our very first COP meeting at Emfuleni Primary, and so on the way, I said, well, Ratsitsi, you know, we have to find a way of getting rid of this. And 4 weeks later, that whole rubbish heap was gone. How did he manage to do it? One of Ratsitsi's strengths is his engagement with the community and the support that he gets out of the community. So the community stood up, parents, and said, we will get rid of it. He phoned the municipality, and between the two parties, they got rid of that whole rubbish heap. And it's still gone. It's never reappeared. So I think that's why I say a school functions well in a healthy community. And we've heard examples of communities which are extremely challenged. I think we are in a community somewhat privileged in the sense that we have really the full support of the community. I think a headmaster's strength, any headmaster is as strong as the support he gets from his SUV, from his staff, and from the district office. I think without that, headmaster can really fail, and it's a tough environment, and if he doesn't have that support, it's not going to be easy. And I think Emfuleni has a lot of the basic structures in place to be a successful school. I think one of the things that I was really impressed about on arriving is, beginning of last year there was lots of talk about the honour results. The honour results, Tsitsi took out his graph and said, this is where we were 3 years ago. We've improved so much, and our target for next year was to be above 85% pass rate. So I think it speaks of a well-organized school and really a committed headmaster. Both of us learned, because being an engineer, engineers are Mr. Fix-Its, and if a job has to be done, it has to be done now. It's not, you can't wait for it. So I had to learn patience, and I think one of the other things is, what I really learned is to learn to listen. Ratsitsi, also being quite energetic and very active, amongst others, he did the 2 Asians this year, and he's going to do the comrades. So he's a real busybody. So he's got the same problem. So the 2 of us got together and said, oh, well, we're going to fix this in no time. And then we attended the first time to think, and we came back to it and said, there seems to be another way of doing these things. And I think one of the biggest discoveries is that by doing things ourselves, we take away the opportunity for someone else to learn and to be just in the limelight. And we both started applying that. I myself with Ratsitsi and saying, well, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. Who do you think is capable? Who needs this challenge? And Ratsitsi said, okay. I used to do it, but we'll have to find someone else. And slowly but surely we started growing and learning that we create our additional capacity for ourselves by allowing others to learn and to do. The other one is very easy for me. Being retired, I've been there, I've seen all the tricks in the trade, so I'm very quick to give answers, and I had to really learn to bite on my tongue and just shut up a bit and say, oh, so is that what, I didn't realize you have such a problem, tell me more about it. And purely by inquiry, you really grow and you allow the other person to really figure things out for himself. So that is some of the things that we learned out of this process. Some of the highlights, I think one of the things that we focused on is keeping our school clean. I think Emfuleni Primary has now been 3rd year running winners of the Collector Can competition. Now that is a fundraising initiative, and it brings something like 50,000 Rand to the school funds, and every bit helps. I told you about Ratsitsi's passion for sport and educating the whole mind. On his initiative, he started in the Vaal Triangle the very first school sports day. Now for many of the schools in the white community, that's a common thing. For a school in the township, firstly knowing how many schools there are, and secondly to arrange something like that, it's totally unheard of. And he took it on his own initiative, got it started. There were 9 schools. There's just at the bottom an indication of the amount of participation, and it was a roaring success. It was absolutely great, and he's planning to do a second one. Now he's planning to do 2 a year. So I said, slow down. The parents can't keep up with your running. And then some other thing that I identified in the whole process. I don't know whether you realize how much cash flows through a school. It is quite astonishing, and it is in fact frightening. And to account for all that money and not to be caught or to be accused of any fraud or other activities, we developed an accounting system, and really, I think at least everyone's peace of mind that all the money that comes into the school is accounted for. So those, there are a lot of other sort of bright stories and things, but I think those of you with the highlights. If Ratsitsi were here, he would have had another set of slides. I think amongst others, the grade R graduation was an absolute roaring success, supported fully by the whole community and the SGB. Everybody was there. Of all the courses I've already mentioned, I think the main thing for us was to sit back and to allow others to be part of the success and be part of the story. And that was really a big learning for all of us. I think another learning for me personally was the power of saying no. I always say, well, there's always a way. We'll find a way, and my wife also knows. We'll find a trick. We'll do it this way. But I've realized the importance and the power of being able to say that. Why should you get involved? I think all of us say and realize that education is really the foundation of our future. Now, instead of it just remaining a thought, become involved. Otherwise, it just becomes a cliche. And I don't think that makes any difference to the country, nor to the futures of our youth. Criticism without any activity or any contribution is really just energy wasted. Becoming involved is quite easy. Program content, as was already said, is well structured. The content is excellent and is really focused on developing educators and headmasters, and in particular, it is focused on improving performance, and I think that is really something worthwhile. The participants are extremely enthusiastic, as you've seen up to now, and want to make it work. And I think in terms of time, probably 10 hours a month is the minimum that you have to budget for. I think what's in it for you? Firstly, you have a friend for life. I think Ratsitsi and I have built up a relationship which is really like an open, it's a parent-child relationship for the two of us. And, he just phones and goes, okay, I've got this, what do you think? And then sometimes I would phone him, because I have grandchildren, and I have one adopted grandchild also in primary school, and I would phone him and say, what do you think of what this school is doing? He said, oh yeah, I'll have to come out there and I'll have to show the guys how to do it. So it is real great fun, so it works both ways. It has an extremely high ratio of reward to effort. I think the amount of effort that you put in and the amount of reward you get out is absolutely enormous. And it really helps you develop a perspective of what the real challenge is for not only education but for our country. Thank you.